And welcome to The Bottom Line, where we unpack some of the main business and economic stories of the day. On December the 20th, Poland will stop sourcing Russian liquid petroleum gas, or LPG. Some may feel a little antsy because the long-term impact on the average consumer is still unknown. Here to tell us what the future holds for the Polish energy market is Bartosz Kwiatkowski, director at the Polish Liquid Gas Association. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us in this.
Thank you for having me here.
So my first question is Poland ready for the big day, December the 20th? So in other words, are you confident that Poland is ready for no more Russian LPG? Have the past 2 years been used well since the decision was made?
I would say that we can show cautious optimism regarding the state of preparation of the Polish market for the incoming sanctions. So 1 year, maybe since the sanctions were announced, maybe too little time for developing strategic infrastructure projects. But it's enough, basically, to put together new contracts to secure supply from different sources than Russia, basically. So, if you ask me about to what extent the market is prepared, I can tell that according to our expectations in November, we still have about 20% of the import from Russia. And we need to remember that not all of the LPG import from Russia will be banned from December the 20th, because it's not one product. It is imported as a couple of products. And one of them was not included in the sanctions. So even in 2025, some part of Russian gas will remain on the market.
Okay, and which ones will those be?
These are basically isobutanes and N-butanes. They are otherwise they are used for the construction industry, for aerosols industry. That's why they were not banned by the European Union Council, and that's basically the main use of this product. But it could be also blended with propane.
Okay. Before we move on, I wanted to ask you what it is that you brought in, because we rarely have guests that bring in something to accompany them.
Well, that's basically our main protagonist of the heating season. So that's a propane molecule. Okay. It's about 50% of the fuel that is being imported from Russia. As you can see, it's a very small molecule. That's why propane basically is a very clean and low emission fuel. So that's what's going to be replaced by new sources of supply from the West, basically. Okay.
Well, speaking of those new sources, we know that Poland will now source LPG from different countries. Can you tell us perhaps where it will come from, and how, more importantly, will this impact our domestic economy and other economies in Europe, perhaps, that are struggling at the moment, like Germany, for instance?
Well, we are following pretty closely how these new supply sources are changing. At the moment, we can say that there will be no magic wand. Russian gas will not be replaced by a single source. It could be replaced by a number of countries exporting to Poland. So far, the second largest after Russia exporter to Poland was Sweden, and it remains the strongest one. It's almost 1/4 of the import. The second one is at the moment, well, they are like fighting for the second position. It's like Norway, Germany, the United States is in the peloton. We have also the Netherlands and the United Kingdom, all major exporters to Poland.
But how will this impact our economy, the Polish economy?
Well, I think that that the impact is mostly already included in prices that we are observing. If somebody is using LPG actually as a consumer, these people may already experience the impact on prices because when we began to shift away from the Russian gas in July or August, the prices started to increase. So we started the year with the price of about 280. Right now it's about 315. So it's already they are already reflecting the shifting sources of the gas, of the LPG gas.
But we're still going to see some price rises. I mean, we've already been experiencing living costs on the rise. Inflation is still due to go up. We see the LPG costs have already gone up. I think it's been 8 groszy last week. And we hear that allegedly it's supposed to go no higher than 3 zloty 40 groszy, so that's about 80 euro cents a litre. Are you able to say that that is the maximum price that we're looking at?
Well, there are many conditions that may impact on that. What I can say with certainty is that we are experiencing a very, I would say, beneficial external conditions. In the context of the replacement of Russian gas, what we are observing, number one, we have relatively warm season at the moment, maybe apart from today, but it's basically quite warm in the European Union. The second part is actually the state of the European economy and the slow growth, particularly in the petrochemical sector. Contributes to the limited demand for LPG. So we are not fighting with these strong Western European petrochemical enterprises.
Okay.
And number three is that there is an abundance of LPG supply on the global market, particularly abundance of LPG supply from the United States. So the main challenge is actually not to secure supply, but actually to bring the gas to Poland.
So it's a logistics thing?
It's logistics, yes.
Okay, so what are the main challenges on that front then?
Well, about half of the Polish demand can be satisfied by the maritime terminals, and it's the easiest route at the moment. But the rest needs to be imported basically by rail cars through Germany. Right now, there are no issues with the supply from Germany or through Germany, actually. But you cannot rule out that at some point there might be some traffic issues in German railways, basically.
So are you saying that we need to build additional terminals, or is the railway system that is in place now sufficient?
Well, there may be some bottlenecks regarding the rail connections, but actually the Polish companies made a major effort over the past year to prepare. They started some investments. They started investment in rail spur, in rail terminals. There are ongoing projects in the maritime terminals. So what they actually need is only support from the government in terms of environmental decisions to bring these projects to close. Okay,
and the highest price that you expect LPG to go up to?
It's very hard to say. Actually, we can remember that in 2022, we observed after the Russian invasion. We saw the prices about 370, 380. We really don't expect the prices to go that high. I think that the number or figure that you mentioned before, so 330 maybe 330 plus, it's the expected price in the early 2025.
Okay, and then The US is listed as one of the countries that Poland will source a lot of its LPG from in the near future. Do you think that this will have a positive influence on the trade relationship between Poland and the US, especially in light of Trump 2.0 just around the corner?
Well, I would expect that certainly. If we are replacing the supply from the politically motivated market like Russia, to purely economically motivated market like the United States, particularly in the wake of the elections, I would say it provides some strength for the Polish position in the trade relations.
And just very briefly, do you think that there will need to be some time for an equilibrium to be established after all these changes? How long do you think that might be?
Yeah, I think that's the case. We can expect maybe a couple of weeks between December and maybe January or on February, where we can expect some minor fluctuations of prices.
Okay. All right. Bartosz Kwiatkowski, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And Bartosz Kwiatkowski, Director of the Polish Liquid Gas Association, was our guest on The Bottom Line. Thanks so much for joining us today. I was your host, Marie Cato. Join us every weekday for Business Arena at 5 p.m. CET on TVP World. And for the latest regional business, follow us on X and on tvpworld.com. And for more news and features, stay with us on TVP World. Goodbye.